Hello there, today I'm going to make a waterfall card and I'm going to make use of some angel pictures like this. I have cut out 4 of these and then I have cut out 4 pieces of just sort of a photo mat paper, and I have put on, let's see now, 2 of an 1/8 inch more on either side. No, I mean on just the 2 sides, so you just have this photo mat to actually go with it nicely, give it a frame or so. If you're working in centimeters, you could actually just put 6 millimeters more on 2 of the sides, and you need to cut 4 of those, or if you just want, cut 4 of those. I mean, that's going to be plenty. And when it comes to that paper strip that it's actually going to drag those pieces of paper, I'm going to use for this card a A4 length, and that is approximately 29.2 centimeters, or in inches it's actually 11 and 11/16 of an inch. And for the width I've actually used the same width as for this piece, and this one measures 8.2 centimeters, or perhaps 3 2 of an 1/8 of an inch. And what you need to do next is to score it at different places. So I started scoring it at 1 6 of an 1/8 inch. I'm not going to. My tongue twists when I say these things. 1 inch and 6/8. 2 inches 6/8, 3 inches 6/8, and 4 inches 6/8. So there are going to be 4 measurements. In centimeters it's going to be 4.5 centimeters, 7, 9.5, and 12 centimeters. You see, it's so much more easy in Sweden here. And it's a good thing to actually make a mark somewhere in the middle, so you know where you're going to put that eyelet or flower or whatever you're going to use here as a decoration. So I have made my mark at 4.1 centimeters, because this one is 8.2, and I have done it 1 centimeter up. Perhaps you could do it just a little bit deeper, and if you're going to have a flower or something, you can actually wait with that one, deciding on what you want to put there. And then it's a good idea actually to cut out a piece of a card base. I have used a very sturdy watercoloring paper that measures 300 grams, and this one measures in inches, and that is, let's see now, it's 6 inches times 8 and 11/8 of an inch, and in centimeters it's 15.2 times 22 centimeters. And since the scoring board doesn't have the mark for the exact spot for 4 and 5/8, I think you should make a mark here with a pencil. Just put it in a score, and just do the scoring on your own. It's going to be so much more easier for you actually to get this this nice crisp fold. What I have done afterwards is I have done some stamping with an attemt stamp with notes, and then I have done some inking of the edges with some of the distress inks. I have also cut out a piece of paper that's going to be put on top here, and I just decided on making it a little bit smaller. In centimeters this one measures 10 times 14, and in inches is 3/15 of a 16th inch times 5 and 8/16 of an inch. I inked the edges just to make it pop a little bit more from the background, and let's see now. What you're going to need more is a sort of a strip to actually go on top of this one, and I have cut out this one just a little bit longer than this one, because I wanted to be able to actually fold it underneath, just to give it some more security or sturdiness. So this one measures in centimeters 14 times 2 centimeters, and in inches is 5 and 8 of a 16th inch times 3 of a quarter of an inch. And then you're going to score it at centimeters 1.8 centimeters and at 12 centimeters, sort of 12. And when it comes to inches, it's 6 of an eighth of an inch times, and at the 4.5 inch mark. You could actually make that the first scored line with a pencil, because I'm sure your scoreboard doesn't have that mark either, and then you just move it to that groove. And after that I decided on actually making something more beautiful on it, so I decided on punching out borders with the Martha Stewart's doily lace. I used a paper from, I'm not sure what it's called now, and then I just inked it up, made a little bit darker so it would fit those pictures that I've got used, and then I just mounted it in the back here, folded these flaps in, and then I made some holes with my crocodile. And I made the holes while this one was actually tucked here, so the holes came in place with 2 of them. And I'm going to put 2 brads on the sides, just to make it cohesive with the brownish sort of theme. And since I'm looking for some bling for this card, I've actually used some glittery brads here. So now we have come this far, and I'm actually thinking of mounting this one down here. I'm actually thinking there's something you need to remember. I mean, you're going to tuck this one in here, this flap that I talked about before, and it's a good thing that you don't put those brad holes too far in, because otherwise you won't be able to tuck this one in here. And that is actually the main, you actually do want some kind of a movability here. And when it comes to this one, I think you're supposed to fasten it on top here. So I'm sure I could start off with that. Just put some glue here. Hope for the best. I see it's a little bit a narrow fit here, but I'm just hoping it'll work out in the end. So it's going to be a tight fit between those brads there. But I'm just putting it edge to edge there, gluing it down, and then I'm just trying to having a look, see if this one actually works. And since this one is so much sturdier paper than the decorative one, it's sort of flimsy, so I can't really make it work properly now. So I think I have better actually mount it to this card base here. I'm hoping I'll be able to make this card stick nicely. If I don't, I suppose I'll have to take the brads away and make a couple of holes so I can actually mount this one right through that card. Perhaps I ought to do that right away, because I'm thinking that it's not going to be that sturdy, and having those brads through would actually help me out a bit, I think. Yeah, I think it's a good idea actually to do that. Just make a mark here. I'm not sure if I can fit my crocodile through here. I'll have a look, see. Just open it up so it won't be stuck on something. Yeah, actually can. I'm just a bit nervous here because I do want this to work. Yeah, there it is. Now I can see it. it doesn't fit. What was that? So I'll have to find a sort of a pick to make the hole for the brad there. Just put that one through. Make sure you don't have your finger on the other side at that spot, otherwise you end up injuring yourself. So what I'll do is that I'll open up these brads, put them through the card base by force if necessary. It seems like I put it. That's the problem when you haven't really prepared for this in a proper manner. I need to put it just a little bit higher up. Suppose I need to put that one lower. Just mind your fingers here. I think I'll just settle for this one. I mean, you get the idea, of course. And I'm actually thinking that it's going to be more sturdy like this. And in order to hide these feet from the brads, I'm going to put a piece of paper on the inside. So now we've come this far, and I'm thinking that it's going to work. You can actually drag it once or twice like this, just to make it more easy to work with. So let's continue gluing these pictures down. There are some things you ought to pay attention to. You shouldn't glue these completely down because otherwise they'll just be stuck down. So you need to put glue on the part that absolutely needs to be moved. So actually put the glue on these flaps here. It's so much easier for you to not overdose that glue line. And remember to not put it, yeah, you could actually put it as wide if you have cut those papers as wide. I'm thinking of just putting this one like so. I think I'll just end up with, start with that one. Of course you could do some stamping of your lovely images if you wanted to. I just felt like making it easy for me. So there you have it, and then you can just flip it over. It's going to be a little bit tricky because I haven't got that much room under here, so that's giving me a hard time. If you want to make, I mean, these cards for instance are pretty thick, and then I've got that watercoloring paper that's also really thick. And as you can see right here, it's a good thing I actually pierced it through that cardstock, otherwise it would have not worked at all. As you can see, when I pull this out, there's a message coming out, so it's a nice thing actually also. And I'm sure you could just satisfy leaving that one there instead of just making this one suffer too much. So I was thinking, depending on the time, I can't really finish it. I'm thinking of putting a flower here or something just to give it a nice touch. And yeah, this is it. This is my way of making a waterfall card. I wish you all the best with yours. Bye bye.